Okay, so welcome everybody. And this week, I have no particular theme except it's been absolutely crazy weather here. I don't know what it's been like in the UK, but we've had hurricane after hurricane kind of hitting us, or the tail end of hurricanes. So I've never experienced weather like this here, and it's some of the most extreme weather I've ever experienced. So I've been really just feeling this need for stillness, really to in the kind of like find the eye of the storm, and it's so crazy outside, just finding ways to find some kind of internal stillness amidst the storm. So this could be a literal storm, or anything that feels like some kind of chaotic, crazy energy that's trying to pull you off your center. There's a lot of that in the world. So finding these resources for stillness, that was the theme that was coming through this evening. But I will weave a little bit of lower back in for the gardeners amongst us. Okay, so let's start in stillness. And of course, when I say stillness, we're never totally still. And this is something that we can observe as we move towards stillness. So come to a comfortable seated position. You don't have to be cross-legged like me. You could even be sitting on a chair. Ideally, you've got your torso free, the back and the front, so that we can feel the breath without any obstruction. And maybe just closing the eyes if that feels okay. If you would rather keep them open, that's fine, but just have a soft gaze, like a half closed eyes, perhaps. So with the closing of the eyes, it's like a symbol to ourselves that we're drawing our awareness inwards. So there's a lot out there that will want to take our attention all the time. So we're just consciously leaving that be for the next hour or so. It can wait, and just bringing our awareness into our inner landscape and our breath. So as we're sitting here, let's just find the most comfortable place for our spine. So just taking a little lean forward towards the front of your pelvis, and maybe leaning back towards the back rim of your pelvis. And then see if you can just rock yourself to the place in between that feels the most easeful for your spine. A place where you feel like you're sitting on the base of your pelvis most easily. Welcome, Linda. We're just getting going. We're just starting seated and moving towards stillness. So just noticing how your spine feels here, and having a sense of gravity drawing the base of the spine downwards, like the tailbone, the sacrum, and some kind of mysterious anti-gravitational force pulling the crown of the head upwards. So there's a sense of lightness and length in the spine. There's a sense of the sides of the neck being long, freedom in the neck and the head, space between the ears and the shoulders. And you can almost feel like the head, the cranium, is just gently bobbing about like a helium balloon, really a light feeling, as opposed to this very dense, grounded, heavy feeling in the pelvis, the legs, the parts that are touching the earth. And then just really connect your breath. Just watch the breath for a moment. Breathe through the nose, if that works for you. Otherwise mouth, but nose if possible. Relaxing the jaw. And we're just going to do a couple of breathing techniques to begin with. So we'll be here for about 5 minutes maybe. So we're going to begin. We're going to do 6-second inhale, 6-second exhale. And then we're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 7, as long as that feels okay, and breathe out for 8. Okay, I'll guide us through. So do what you can. If it's too much for you, if it's creating stress, tension, just skip it, come into your own internal count, but try to do a regular internal count, even inhale, even exhale. Okay. So let's just synchronize the breath. So taking a deep breath in, ideally through the nose, all the way to the top, and a full exhale. And again, a deep breath in, filling the lungs all the way to the top, keep the shoulders relaxed. And fully exhaling. And now we begin. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Two more. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just release that breath count. See if you can stay connected to your breath, but just let your breath do what it wants for a moment. Notice how you feel. As always, listen to your body. If you've had enough, if being seated for this long is too much, just lie down. Otherwise, we're going to go for one more breathing technique. You could even do this lying down. It just won't be quite so free in the torso. So this one, we're going to breathe in for the count of 4, hold if we can for the count of 7, and breathe out with a double time of 8. Okay. So again, let's just synchronize, taking a deep breath in through the nose. And exhaling completely. And taking another breath in. And exhale. Now we begin. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, strong. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Two more. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release the count again to stay connected to the breath. Notice how you feel. Apologies, I got the count wrong in the second to last one. I have to stay very focused with these breath counts. Just staying in stillness for just a moment longer before we begin to move. And just notice if stillness is a comfortable place for you or not. Do you find it difficult? Is there resistance? Is there fidgeting or pain, tension? Or does it feel easy for you to become still and kind of delicious? Just notice, no judgment, expectation, just observation. Okay, So when you're ready to move, come onto your hands and knees. Have your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Really spread the fingertips. Let's be quite dynamic in the hands today. So there is something called Hasta Bandha, the hand lock, where we press down through the perimeter of the hands, so the fingertips, the thumb tip, and the base of the fingers and the base of the thumb, and the kind of outer perimeter of the palm. Very much pressing down, but there's almost like an internal lift, a suctiony lift at the center of the palm. So see if you can just explore that, pressing down and also having a feeling of lift at the same time. This is Hasta Bandha. Creates very strong connection with the floor. And then we're going to cat-cow. So as you inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, shoulders back, looking up. Exhale, tailbone under. Press through the hands even more to stretch the upper back to the ceiling, chin to chest. Just keep that going. Inhaling into the cow, tailbone lifts, belly drops, look up. Exhale, tailbone under, navel to spine, stretch the upper back, chin to the chest. Keep that going with your breath if you can, feeling it as a wave of movement from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. And then see if you can use your eye muscles as well. So at the top of the inhale, look up, as high up towards the eyebrows as you can. And at the end of your exhale, look down the tip of the nose as low down as you can. This works the eye muscles, which can get weak if we don't work them. And at the end of your next exhale, just pause in the neutral tabletop. And then we're going to take the hips in circles. So take the hips all the way back to the heels, all the way out to the left, forward. So your shoulders might briefly come in front of the wrists, all the way out to the right and back to the heels. So you're drawing a circle with your hips here. And then change direction, take it the other way. Try to keep that Hasta Bandha. What's happened to your hands? Have they lost a strong connection with the floor? If so, can we bring some awareness back to the hands? And then coming back to neutral spine. We're going to draw the lower belly up towards the spine. So we're focusing on core connection here. Connect to your pelvic floor as well. And then stretch your right foot out to the floor behind you. So you're just on the ball of the right foot. Press through the hands and really stretch into the back of that lower leg. So it should feel a stretch in the calf or the back of the ankle. If you don't feel much, you could take your hands further forward and maybe you get a bit more of a stretchy feel or a bit more length, a bit more movement to stretch a bit more. And then if you took your hands forward, bring them back underneath the shoulders. Check your lower belly still lifting up towards the spine as you lift the right leg up in line with the hips. We're pressing down actively through the hands, trying to straighten the arms. You can stay here or you can reach the left arm forwards. So you could be in this right leg back, left arm forward diagonal stretch, looking to the floor. Keep lifting the lower belly up towards the spine. Breathe as deeply as you can. And then exhale, release everything down. And then we'll go to the other side. So you can stop at any point. I should have said that on the other side. So you could just stay with the stretch if the core work is too much. So we're going to stretch the left leg out behind us. We're on the ball of the foot. We can still make it a core action by pressing down actively through the hands to straighten the arms, lifting the lower belly up towards the spine. So this could be your core work. It's still great core work here. If we're lifting that lower belly up, strengthening the front of the left thigh. So if you've taken the hands forward to get an extra stretch, bring them back underneath the shoulders. Connect to your core by lifting the lower belly up to the spine and lift that left leg if you wish to go further. And if you wish to go further still, reach the right arm forward. So we've got a diagonal stretch from left heel to right fingertips. If possible, our left toes are pointing towards the floor. Keep lifting the lower belly up. Try not to sag in the lower back here. Breathe deep, one more breath. And then release everything down. Well done. Just take a wide knee child's pose. So we've got the big toes touching, the knees about the distance of the mat apart, and we sink the hips onto the heels for a moment. And you could just keep the arms outstretched to just ease the wrists off here. Release the forehead to the floor, or you could have a bend in the elbows. You could rest the forehead on the back of the arms, the lower arms. So just do what you like with the arms and the hands here. But we're just taking a moment to really breathe into the lower back. Creating lots of space in the lower back here. If you need the hips a bit higher, you could maybe put a cushion or a pillow between the hips and the heels. Okay, and then just coming back up to tabletop, bringing the knees back underneath the hips. We're just going to do a little flow, a little vinyasa. So we're going to inhale here, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, keep the elbows in, push the floor away as you lower the chin and the chest to the floor, hips stay high. Inhale, we slide the legs out behind us and lift the chest. So we're in a baby cobra, the hands are under the shoulders. Exhale, we lower the head back to the Inhale, lift the belly up to the spine as you press through the hands to bring yourself back up to tabletop. And just exhale, take child's pose. We're just going to move between these postures. Just do the best you can. Inhale up to tabletop. Exhale, chin in the chest down. Keep the elbows in, hips stay high. Inhale, baby cobra. So extend the legs behind you, lift the chin and the chest. Exhale, forehead to the floor. Inhale, press through the hands back up to tabletop. Exhale, back to child's pose. And just do this a couple more times. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, chin and the chest down, hips stay high. Inhale, cobra, lifting the chin and the chest, pubic bone on the floor. Exhale, release the forehead. Inhale, press through the hands back up to tabletop. Exhale, back to child's pose. Last time. Inhale, up to tabletop. Exhale, chin and the chest down, hips high. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, forehead down. Inhale, press yourself back up, reverse press up. Exhale, hips onto the heels. Just take a moment in child's pose. So we're going to return to the cobra, and this time we're going to stay there a little bit. So bring yourself back up to the tabletop, and again, exhale, lower yourself down, chin and the chest down. And then inhale, find your way into this cobra. So our hands are just underneath the shoulders. My hands are off shot, I think, but they're just underneath the shoulders on the floor, but I'm not pressing through them. So I'm using my back muscles to lift the chin and the chest. The neck is long, looking to the floor in front. Press the pubic bone down and the tops of the feet down. And exhale, release. Just take the hands to the sides, turn a cheek to the floor for a moment. We're just going to repeat this a couple of times. I'm going to change the angle here. Has he helped? Okay. So again, hands underneath the shoulders, forehead on the floor. Try not to use your hands. Try to use your back muscles to lift the chin and the chest. So even perhaps hobby your hands off the floor just to check you're not using them. Neck stays long. You'll feel the back muscles working. Press the pubic bone down and the toenails down to keep the legs engaged here. And then exhale, lower the other cheek to the floor, hands to the side. Just relax the shoulders. If you need to wobble the hips to release the lower back, that's fine. And then last time we're going to repeat, but some of you might want to go further. So again, forehead on the floor, hands under the shoulders, shoulders away from the ears. Use your back muscles to lift yourself up. And then if you wish, you could start to then press through the hands and come up a bit higher, which might just be a little bit higher with the elbows still quite bent, or it might be more up towards straight arms, or we're still in the original position. But whatever we're in, draw the shoulders down away from the ears and see if you can find Hasta Bandha. What tends to happen here is that the fingertips lift off the floor. See if we can still press down through the thumb tip, the fingertips, the base of the fingers and the thumb, the perimeter of the palm. So the real kind of active connection through the hands. And then exhale, lower yourself down. You can take a cheek to the side, or you can just bring your head to rest on the back of the hands here and release the lower back. So we're going to take regular kind of moments of stillness in this class in between the movements. So this is one of them, either with your forehead on the back of the hands or your cheek to the floor, hands by the side. Just really take a moment to relax the belly into the floor here. Relax the muscles, especially those muscles of the back that we've just been working. And kind of moving between flow and movement and rest and stillness. And just noticing where we feel most comfortable in the movement or in the stillness or in both or in neither this evening. Just noticing. If you turn a cheek to the side, turn the other cheek to the side. And then bring the forehead to the floor, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, lift the belly up to the spine. Again, press yourself back up, that reverse press up. This time we're going to tuck the toes and lift the hips and find our way into downward dog. So if downward dog isn't for you, this is where we make that triangle with the body, with the hands and the feet on the floor. If that's too much for you, just bring the knees down or take child's pose. Okay, so choose an option that's right for you. Release the back of the neck if you're in downward dog, looking back towards the toes, spreading the fingers again. Have some awareness in the hands. What are our hands and fingers doing here? Are we connected? Take some deep breaths. And then from here, look forward and bring your right foot between the hands. So you might just be able to step it straight forward from downward dog. You might need to come onto the floor, bring it forward, or pick it up and bring it forward. Okay, but we're going to stay with that back knee off the floor. So we're in the low lunge. So we've got the right knee above the ankle or behind the ankle. If the floor feels too far away, bring it closer by blocks or books underneath your hands. Okay, so this can be quite a deep posture if the hips are tight. Keeping the spine long, the back of the neck long, sometimes called the runner's lunge, this. Very good for tight leg and hip muscles. And then we're going to release that left knee down to the floor, come on top to the top of the left foot, sinking the hips. You can stay here again, maybe with your hands on blocks to bring the floor higher, or we can bring the hands onto the thighs and try to straighten the arms or move towards straight, or we can take the hands up and I'll move position now. So hands would be up, palms touching or close, and possibly looking up to that top hand. Breathing into the front of the left hip, the crescent moon lunge. Exhale, release the hands. And again, maybe with blocks, we're going to come into the half split. So we don't move the right foot, we just take the hips back and we come onto the right heel and we fold over that front leg. So we maybe have the hands on blocks on their highest setting or medium setting, either side of the front leg, or hands on the floor, or hands on the leg, on the front leg. Should be feeling the stretch, or maybe you're feeling the stretch in the back of that right leg. Drawing the toes towards the shin to stretch into the lower calf and the back of the ankle. And then bring the sole of that foot down, plant the hands. So your options here, slide the right knee back to join the left. Maybe you take a child's pose or stay in tabletop. Maybe you come straight to downward dog. Or maybe if you've got lots of energy this evening, we come to the plank, we exhale lower, we inhale back bend, we exhale back to downward dog. Okay, that's totally optional. So you're either in child's pose, tabletop, or downward dog. We're just going to pause for a few breaths here between sides. So you could be knees down, tabletop, pausing here. You could be pausing in child's pose. Just listen to what's right for your body. And then we're going to go to the other side. So at the end of your next exhale, look forward, and maybe you can step that left foot straight forward from downward dog. Maybe we come onto the knees, pick it up, bring it forward. Okay, and then we lift the back knee, so we tuck the back toe under, lift the back knee, our left knee is above or maybe slightly behind the left ankle. Maybe we've got 2 blocks or 2 books underneath our hands to bring the floor closer. Taking some deep breaths, strong work in the legs, but a big opening around the hips as well. Spine is long, neck is long, looking to the floor in front of that front foot. And then from here, take that back knee down, come onto the top of the back foot, let the hips kind of sink forward. Stay here, maybe with the hands still on blocks, or climb the hands onto the front thigh, moving towards straightening the arms, and then maybe inhale, lift the hands up. If your balance is feeling good, you could look up or look forward. Have a sense of squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. Breathe as deeply as you can in the posture. And then we're going to exhale, release the hands down. And again, you might just want to use the blocks as we keep the left foot where it is, but take the hips back and we come onto the heel of that left foot and the toes are drawing back towards the shin. So we get this hamstring stretch. We might need to keep a bend in that left leg. That's totally fine. Listen to your body. You might want to bring the blocks back towards you. So if our body feels quite tight, then having 2 firm blocks or 2 hard back blocks can be really helpful. And then taking the sole of that left foot down, planting the hands, and again you choose tabletop, child's pose, downward dog, or the vinyasa, the flow. Inhale, plank, exhale, down, inhale, back bend, exhale, downward dog. So just, again, noticing when we're in flow and movement and when we're in stillness. So coming more to stillness in either child's pose, tabletop, or downward dog. Connect to your hands, how they're making contact with the floor. Connect to your breath. Relax your jaw. And then at the end of your next exhale, we're going to look forward and see if we can walk the feet to the hands. This may or may not work. You might need to take your hands off the floor, but what we want to end up in is the feet underneath the hips and the feet parallel. And our upper body's folding down over our legs. So you can bend the knees as much as you need here. You can hold the opposite elbow and let the arms dangle. Release the crown of the head, extend the back of the neck. Really press the feet down into the mat actively. So now we've explored Hasta Bandha, how our hands come into contact with the earth. We can do the same with our feet, which is Pada Bandha, the foot lock. And really it's the same thing. We can be actively pressing down through the sole of the foot and feeling like an internal lift at the center of the foot. So the first stage is just to be aware of our feet and how they're meeting the earth. And this is the beginnings of Pada Bandha. A couple more breaths here, keeping those knees bent if you need. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees, take the hands to the hips, and then strongly push through your legs to come up with a flat back, so we arrive in a standing position. And let's just take another moment of stillness, but in the mountain pose, in this standing position. So your feet are together, or more or less together. You can have a gap between the heels. We're going to bring the shoulders up to the ears and roll them back and down. And actually, just to begin with, interlace the hands behind the back if you're able to, and press the knuckles down towards the floor. As you do this, it's like we encourage the tailbone to drop. So rather than sticking the lower bum out behind us, the lower back out behind us, sticking the bum out behind us and overarching the lower back, we draw the bum in and we just drop the tailbone. We take that strong arch out of the lower back. Pressing the knuckles down. Press down through the feet actively, the base of the toes, the back of the heel, the inner edge, the outer edge, the whole of the soles of the feet pressing down. And then we release the hands, but try to keep the shoulders back and down, more or less where they were. So the shoulders and the ears and the hips and the ankles are in line. The feet are spreading and open and actively pressing down. And maybe from that pressing down, you can perceive this lift up through the center of the feet, up through the legs, into your deep core. Connect to your breath. And just close the eyes or have the eyes half closed. And notice how this immediately becomes a balance. We're moving towards stillness again. But when we close the eyes or begin to close the eyes, we become very aware that we're actually never still. We're not still. The body's making constant little micro movements to keep us balanced, especially when we close the eyes. But even when the eyes are open. See if you can notice all these tiny little movements within the apparent stillness. And then conversely, amidst the endless movement of our body, see if you can connect to a feeling of stillness within you, a quality of stillness. Maybe it's in the mind. Maybe there's a part of your internal landscape that just feels still. And this is just an inquiry. There's no right or wrong. There's no expectations. We're going to take this kind of exploration of stillness into a balance. So if you know you're not connecting to stillness very much this evening and you want the wall, just stay close to the wall, have the wall as support. So if we're going to balance on the left foot first, have your left hand close to the wall. We're going to balance on the left foot and do the tree. So for the full tree, the foot is lifted off the ground, but we could just start with the right toes on the floor with the sole of the foot close to the left ankle and the right knee out to the side, out to the right. For those who can, we're going to pick up the right foot and place the sole of the foot on the inner left thigh or the inner left calf, just not the inner knee joint. Make sure the heel's not pressing the knee joint. Okay, so above or below, or keep the right toes on the floor, have your hand on the wall, the left hand on the wall. Okay. And then bring the hands to the center of the chest if we're not using the wall. Find a steady gaze, whatever variation we're using, steady gaze point. And then if you wish to go further, inhale the hands up through the center line of the body. Exhale, open them wider than the shoulders. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Draw the lower belly back to the spine. Spread the toes of the left foot. Vrikasana, the tree. And just see if you can cultivate that feeling of stillness. Even if you're wobbling, even if you fall in and out of the posture multiple times, can we still have some kind of essence of calm in how we do that? And then inhale, bring the palms together above the head. Exhale, bring the hands down through the center line of the body. Inhale, thumbs at chest. Exhale, release. Don't worry if you didn't make it all the way through. We'll all meet back in the mountain pose with both feet on the floor. You need to just move the hips, the ankles, then do. And then same on the other side. So now maybe turn around so your right hand's on the wall. Maybe we just externally rotate the left leg with the toes touching the floor, sole of the foot to the inner ankle. Maybe we pick up that left foot, find Vrikasana, sole of the foot above or below the knee, toes pointing down, hands at the center of the chest, or use the wall. Stay here, or inhale up that center line of the body above the head. Exhale, open the hands wider than the shoulders, draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Really press the heel into the inner thigh or calf and resist with the standing leg to create more inner stability. Steady gaze. Gaze at something that's not moving. To help you find the stillness, find the poise, even amidst the movement. Inhale, bring the palms to touch above the head. Exhale, hands back so the thumbs touch the sternum or the chest. And inhale here. And exhale, release. Well done. So balances are always a journey. We may fall in and out multiple times. This is normal. We just do what we can and we try to keep the mind balanced even when the body is moving. So just taking just one more moment of stillness in the mountain pose. We're going to come into some standing postures and be quite static with them. We'll hold them with a little bit longer than usual. Try to again drop into the stillness quality. So take your feet somewhere between the elbows and the wrists and turn your left foot in so the toes are slightly in front of the heel and the right foot all the way out. We externally rotate the right leg. Inhale, reach through your fingertips and exhale, slide your torso to the right and then bring your right hand down to meet your right leg wherever it meets. It might be above the knee, below the knee, it might be the foot. Left arm extends up to the ceiling. We can look forward, or if we feel balanced, we can look up to that top hand. If you feel very wobbly and unbalanced, you can do this with your back against a wall. The backs of the legs against the wall. And just see if you can drop into that quality of stillness again. Strong legs, active feet. And then on your next inhale, press through the feet and the legs to bring your body upwards again. And we're just going to swap sides. So turn your right foot in, your left foot all the way out, but the hips face forward. So we try not to let the hips follow the left leg. Inhale, stretch through the fingertips. Exhale, slide the torso to the left, bringing that left hand down to meet wherever it meets. And take the right hand up. And you can look forward, you can even look down. Or if available, we look up. Reaching up through right fingertips, spreading, opening the feet. And inhale to come up. And we'll take the feet forwards now. If you need a little break from having the feet apart, just bring the feet together. Otherwise, we're just going to take the feet a little bit wider, all 10 toes pointing forward now, outer edges of the feet parallel. If you know the floor is going to be far away from you, have your block in front of you to bring the floor closer. Hands on the hips, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift the chest and look up. And exhale, take a forward fold, a wide leg forward fold. When you get to your deepest fold, hands come down to meet the floor or maybe the block on any of its three settings. We release the back of the neck. And again, just notice how your feet connecting to the floor, pressing down, lifting up the inner arches. And then inhale, straightening the arms, looking up. Exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, coming up. And then exhale, bring the legs together again, back to Tadasana. And just take a moment. Find the equipoise. Okay, we're going to come down to sit on the floor. So you're welcome to just sit and we'll join you there in a moment. For those of you that want to just flow, we've done a few static postures. So if you want to feel that movement again, then we can do one more little vinyasa flow down to seated. So meet us on the floor or join me at the front of the mat in mountain pose. And then as your inhale comes, raise the hands looking up. Exhale, forward fold, dropping the head. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back to the plank or tabletop. or downward dog. Inhale here. Exhale, lowering down, knees on or off the floor. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Now we come to seated. So at the end of your next exhale, look forward and just kind of bring the feet forwards, cross the ankles, sit yourself down. So hopefully we're all seated now together on the floor, and we're going to do some seated stretches. Great. So you might want to have a strap and a low block handy. So we're going to come into Janu Shirshasana leg. So extend your left leg out in front of you and bring the sole of your right foot to the inner left thigh. Things you might do here, I'll sit up on a block, and in a moment we might use the strap as well. But first we're going to do a side stretch. We're going to do the Parivriti version. So you could bring a block to the inside of the left leg on any of its settings, and maybe just bring the left elbow onto that block or the left hand onto the left leg. We're going to inhale, stretch up through the right side, and exhale, just lean over towards the left, bringing that right upper arm up and over. But we might just be resting the elbow on a block. Maybe if it's available, we might be supporting the head in our left hand. You could also, another option is to interlace the hands behind the back of the head. So there's lots of different ways of doing this, because this sometimes you can be a bit not quite sure what to do with this right hand. If it's too much for your right shoulder to be reaching like this, you could even just rest the right hand back down to the right thigh, and you're still getting the stretch, just less intense. Or even just a half bind here, taking the back of the right hand to the back, drawing the right shoulder back. So any of those options. And take a few more breaths. Try to keep the left leg active, the toes up to the ceiling. Really feeling this stretch down the right side body, right rib cage, getting a big opening. And then inhale, coming up. And just take a gentle counter twist. So take your left hand, you can just frame the right thigh with your hands, or you can take the left hand onto the right thigh, right hand behind you. But we're just twisting towards that bent leg, just for just a few breaths, just to counter that. And then unwind. Okay, now just listen to my instructions. It can get a little bit confusing here. So we're going to take the right heel forward so that the right shin is more or less in line with the edge of your mat. And then we're going to lean to the right and also bend the left leg so that the left shin is parallel with the other edge of your mat. This makes sense. So as you look down, you should see a bend in both legs that's more or less the same. And your right shin's parallel with one edge, the left shin's more or less parallel with the other. Okay, this is a version of the deer. And then you might want a cushion or two cushions or a bolster if you've got it. We're going to turn to the right again and start to walk the hands forward. And maybe we've got a cushion or a bolster that we can just rest the front body on, or maybe we come onto the elbows and rest the head in the hands, or if we've got the capacity and we want to go deeper, we could bring the head onto the back of the hands or even all the way down to the floor. The left buttock can be lifted up in the air. So it's a bit of a complicated one, this, to get into in some ways. And it should feel, hopefully, quite relaxing. If it doesn't feel relaxing to you, feel free to skip this or modify, or just come back up to the previous position and wait for us to join in the other side. So you can kind of relax the legs a little bit here. Relax the belly, especially if you're supported on a bolster or cushion, then you can just allow the front body to relax into your support. You may be quite upright with the hands resting on the floor and the head just dropping between your thumbs. Take a few more breaths. You can turn the head to look either way, but probably towards the left is best. Okay, so we're going to think about coming out of this now. So if you've turned your head to the side, just look forward so your forehead's facing the floor. Walk your hands back towards your right leg. Untwist yourself to face the front. I'm going to swap sides. Okay, so just gently releasing out of the posture. If you need to massage the hips or the knees, then do. Have your support, your pillows, your bolster on the other side if you're using that. So we're going to start with Janu Shirshasana on the other side. So we have the right leg extended and the sole of the left foot to the inner thigh. We could be sitting up on a block. We could also be using a cushion to support the outer left leg. We're coming into our side stretch. So it could just be right hand on right leg. It could be right elbow on the block on any of its heights. We inhale, stretch up through the left side, and exhale, lean over to the right. And remember, we've got various options here. Maybe we're supporting the heavy head in the right hand. Maybe if this left arm starts to fatigue, we can interlace the hands around the back of the head, or we can just release that left hand back down to the left thigh. Try to keep the shoulder back though, or even a half bind wrapping towards the right hip, so the back of the left hand's on the back of the body. So choose what's right for you. Or we might just be right hand moving down towards the foot, left hand reaching over. So don't have any expectations of what you should look like. Just feel it in your body, what's right for me today. A few more breaths. Really feeling that big opening in the left side body, intercostal muscles between the ribs, being really stretched here. So good for full breath to stretch these muscles. These are the secondary breathing muscles after the diaphragm, the intercostals. Okay, and then on your next inhale, bringing that left hand back up, bringing yourself back to upright. Just take a moment to feel the effects of that stretch in the torso. And then we set up for our slightly complicated posture. We take the left heel forward, so the shin is parallel with the front of the mat. I'm going to see if I can get a better, yes, looks better. Shin parallel with the front of the mat. And then we lean to the left so that we can change the right leg position, and more or less, it doesn't have to be exact, the right shin's parallel to the other side of the mat, more or less. So there's a similar angle behind both knees. Oh, we didn't do the counter twist. So we'll twist first upright, which we did in a slightly different position on the other side. So just turning to face the left. And then we'll come forward. So have your pillow or bolster handy. If it's there for you, it can feel really nice and supportive on the front body. And we start to walk the hands forward, laying the front body on our support. Turning to face the right. If we don't have a pillow or a bolster, we just walk the hands forward, and maybe we just stay upright like this, just dropping the head between the upper arms. Right buttock can lift here. Maybe we come down onto the forearms and the elbows. Maybe we support the forehead in the hands. Maybe we come all the way down. So again, just listen to your body. What is right for your body? When you reach what feels like the right place for you this evening, take some deep breaths. And see if we can cultivate a feeling of rest here, even maybe. Stillness. Nourishment, maybe. Then we're going to think about coming out. So just in your own time, bring the forehead to face the floor or the bolster. Start to walk the hands back, coming all the way to upright, untwisting, coming back to face the front. And we're going to return to Janu Shirshasana, but this time we're going to come forward. So we'll swap sides again. So we've got the left leg outstretched again and the right sole of the foot to the inner left thigh. So same posture, but instead of a side stretch, we come forward. You might want to sit on a low block. You might also want to use a strap here, because we're going to come forward. So with or without your strap, we're going to inhale, stretch the arms up, and exhale, take yourself forward, hands reach for whatever they can find here, the thigh, the calf, the ankle, the foot, or if you've got a yoga strap or a belt or a dressing gown belt or a tie or anything like that, scarf, you can take it around the foot and hold the foot. Okay. So just finding your way into your forward fold here, dropping the head, taking some slow deep breaths, remembering we could be supporting the outer right hip on a cushion or block if we need. And then on your next inhale, look up, lengthen the spine, and bring yourself back to upright. And we're just going to simply swap sides. We're taking the right leg out, bringing the sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh, trying to keep this right leg active, toes up to the ceiling. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, take a forward fold, letting the hands meet the leg or the foot, wherever we get to, without straining, or we're using our strap. And then we're just dropping the head, relaxing the jaw. The right knee can be bent if needs be, no problem. Do what we need so that we can feel comfortable in the posture, so that we can breathe fully. And if there's no way that we can do that, then we can just skip the posture, no problem. If you need to skip postures, maybe just use it as an opportunity to rest in stillness in whatever comfortable position feels good until you can join in again. Just to really develop the theme of the class. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release, coming up. And we're going to find our way onto our backs. Come to lie down on your back. So to do a little bit of core work. So again, we're just coming into movement and then we'll finish in more the stillness energy. So let's just start with single legs, and then some of us might want to go to double legs, seeing how we feel. So the easier version of this, the hands are by the sides. The harder version is to take the arms overhead. So just feel what is right for you. You'll know more when we get going. If you've got weak lower back, probably keep the hands by the sides. So we're going to inhale, raise the right leg, exhale, lower. Simple as that. Inhale, left leg raises, exhale, lower. Okay, so we'll just keep this going for a moment. Try to anchor down through the back of the body, the sacrum, the shoulder blades. And notice when we do this for a little while, you'll probably start to feel it in the front body and the back. So the back is working, but so are the deep abdominal muscles working here. So if this feels enough for you, just do a few more of these, as many as feels comfortable. Some of you, this is much more difficult. You might start to do the two legs at the same time, inhaling them up, exhaling them down. Okay, so if this creates pain in your lower back, come back to the single leg raises, trying to move with the breath. Inhale, brings the leg up. The exhale takes them down. We're going to try to go for 10 more. So if you're doing single leg lifts, that's 5 more on each side. 1, 2, 3. If you need to stop at any point, please do. 4. If you need to change to single leg, please do. Especially if you feel in the back. 5. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Well done. Just relax for a moment. Bring the hands back to the hips if you took them overhead. Just let the feet flop out to the side. Maybe put the hands on the belly. So release the belly muscles. So after that kind of movement and strong work, we're going to take a passive back bend. Those of you who are in a different vibe this evening, wanting to work hard, feel free to do an unsupported back bend. Feel free to do the wheel or settee bend that's unsupported. Otherwise, we're going to do a supported back bend, and you're going to need a firm yoga brick or a hardback book that's going to take your weight, or anything like a brick that's going to take your weight. And we press down through the feet, feet are hip distance apart. We lift the hips and we place the sacrum, so that's the bony plate, fused bony plate at the base of the spine, just above the cleft of the buttocks. It's quite low down, and it should feel like a flat plate of bone meeting the flat edge of the block, the flat surface of the block. If it feels lumpy bumpy, like the vertebra is the spinal vertebra digging into the block, then you're too high. Take it down lower. And if you feel unstable, like it's just the flesh of your buttock and sit bones, then you're too low. So try to find that sweet spot. And we're just going to stay here for a passive release. If you're doing a more active back bend, maybe do 2 or 3, because we're going to be here for maybe a couple of minutes. So if you've got a yoga brick, it has 3 heights: the low height, the medium height, and the high height. So you can choose the one that feels most restful and nourishing for you. You might want the deeper stretch of the higher settings. You might just want the really mellow release of the low setting. Again, listen to your body. And maybe close the eyes if it feels good to do so. Just go internal. Feel the effects of this posture on your body and your breath. Maybe on your mind. This is an inversion. The blood is moving from the heart towards the head. Can be quite calming, can also be energizing. Just notice how it is for you. Maybe consider turning the palms upwards to encourage that external rotation of the arms, the release of the chest. Okay, so we're going to think about coming out. So to come out, press through the feet to lift the hips just a little bit so that you can slide the block out from underneath you. Gently lower the spine back down to the mat, from the upper back to the lower back, placing the sacrum down. Maybe just moving the shoulders up towards the top of the mat so that you can really just nestle the whole of the skin of the back onto the floor here. Just keep the knees bent and the feet on the floor for a moment, and just take a few deep breaths into what should feel like a neutral spine now. It's not back bending, it's not forward folding. It's just resettling into its natural curves. Just breathe it back. And then we're going to stretch the legs up towards the ceiling and reach the arms overhead. Pressing up through the heels or reaching back through the fingertips. And then we can bend the knees, hug the knees into the chest so your hands can be, excuse me, around the front of the shins or holding the back of the knees. Relaxing the shoulders into the floor, shoulder blades dropping into the floor. And just consciously choose stillness or movement. We've been playing with this theme this evening. If the body would like a bit of movement, you could try rocking side to side or little circles on the sacrum. Or is it feeling really nourishing for you to keep dropping into stillness this evening, in which case we don't need to move. And then from here, keep hold of your right knee and stretch your left leg out. If that's too much for your lower back, just keep the left leg bent, left foot on the floor. Otherwise, we're pushing out through the left heel. We're drawing the right knee towards the chest. And then we're going to take this into a twist. So release your right hand out in line with the shoulder or closer to the body if that's better. Take your left hand to the outside of the right knee. Maybe you can rest your right foot on your left leg and just use your left hand to draw the knee over towards the left, right knee over towards the left, as far as feels okay for your body. You might, if you've got your bolster or a block handy, be able to rest the lower right leg or foot on a support. It might reach the floor, or you might keep it on the left leg. And if it's just hovering in the air, that's okay too. It's just not quite so restorative. You could roll your head and look over your right shoulder. Your left leg's just passive, your left leg's just rolling with you. And take some deep breaths. Relaxing the belly. And then just draw your belly back to your spine as you roll back to the center. And extend the right leg to join the left and just make any little arrangements you need to do to get centrally aligned through the spinal column, the head and the pelvis. And then we'll draw the left knee in towards the chest. So again, you're either pressing out through your right heel with the leg extended, or if it's better for your lower back, just slide the right foot in and have the knee bent. We're hugging the left knee in towards the left side of the chest. Slowing the breath down as we move towards the end of the class. And then changing this to a twist. So release your left hand out to the side, more or less in line with the shoulder. If that feels good, left hand to the outside of the right knee. Left foot could be just resting on the right thigh, as I'm doing here. And then we draw the left knee over to the right, just letting the right leg roll with you. Maybe we find, again, a support underneath the lower leg, if there's one handy, or even the upper thigh. Just playing around with supports just to see what works for you. Maybe the left foot reaches the floor, or it could just be in the air. So whatever works for you, spiraling the head to look over the left shoulder if that feels good. Maybe closing the eyes, slowing the breath down. And then coming back to the center, extending the left leg to meet the right, just taking any little adjustments that you need to get centrally aligned. And then again, we're going to just bring the knees up to the chest, but this time take happy baby. So we can take the hands to the outer edges of the feet or the ankles, or just drape the wrists behind the knees. But the knees are wide towards the shoulders, shins vertical if we've got the feet. If we've got the knees, we could even hold the front of the knees and just let the feet drop, but the knees stay wide. And again, just intuit this for yourself, stillness or movement. Sometimes in this posture, people like to go side to side, the body likes to go side to side in this for rocking, gentle, one knee coming closer to the floor than the other. And sometimes the body just wants to be still. So feel what's best for you this evening, movement or stillness. And if you choose movement, see if you can connect to that quality of internal stillness, even in the movement. And if you choose stillness, see if you can notice the endless movement that's occurring within your body, even in the stillness. And then when you're ready, just bringing the legs in together again, giving yourself a tight squeeze here, maybe lifting the head up to meet the knees for a moment. And then we're going to release into Shavasana, and we're just going to do a little breath practice in Shavasana and then drop into our Shavasana. So we'll have a full 5 minutes in Shavasana, but just before we totally let ourselves go completely, let's just do one more breath practice. So we're going to do the square breath, which means we breathe in for 4, we hold for 4, we breathe out for 4, and we hold out for 4. And we're just going to do this 4 times. So you can get yourself ready for Shavasana, do anything you need so that you can just, when we finish the breath practice, you can just rest entirely. So if you need a blanket or put your socks on, do that now. And let's just coordinate the breath. Don't worry if you're still getting set up, you can join us when you're down. So let's just coordinate by taking a deep breath in, using the nose if possible, but not essential. Breathing out. And again, breathing in, breathing out. And one more time. Breathing in, breathing out. And this time we'll start. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. And release. Let yourself drop into rest, into stillness, into Shavasana, the corpse pose. Let go of any breath control. See if you can let go of any muscle control. Have a gap between the teeth. Relaxed eyeballs in their sockets. As you close the eyes. Relax the whole body. And as always, if you're not ready to leave Shavasana yet, please stay for as long as you wish and have time for. If you'd like to close with me at the end of the class, start to deepen the breath, start to bring movement back to the body, taking any stretches that feel good. And just gently in your own time, bringing yourself back to seated. Let's just close with a final moment of stillness, maybe closing the eyes one last time and bringing the palms together, the chest, or whatever feels right for you. Just take a moment to just harness the energy you've created from the practice, the quality of stillness you may or may not have discovered within you, to bring the fruits of your practice, whatever you discovered, out into your world off the mat. And when you feel ready, opening the eyes again. Thank you for sharing practice this evening. Namaste. Hope to see you soon.